of like invite players, share screen, whatever. If you hit the more button, like the ellipsis, then go to voice chat settings. And if you don't, that's also fine too. I'm going to try to repeat questions so that for those who don't want to share their voice, yeah, I'll just, it'd be easier. Okay, so the purpose, let's talk about the purpose of the racing line, right? So the purpose of the racing line is, at the end of the day, is just to go, hold on, I didn't even hit record yet. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's talk about the racing line. So the racing line is, the whole purpose of the racing line is to obviously go around the track as fast as possible, right? And the main idea, if you break it down, like if you break it down a track into the different corners, there's kind of like the optimal lines through each corner. And when you kind of really dig down into the reasons of why a line is the way it is, mainly it's because the primary reason is because the exit speed is wherever the racing line is like configured or goes to the corner, it's that way because you're maximizing exit speed. And so there's a lot of things that can influence the way an ideal line is around a corner. And we'll kind of go through those things like later through the program because they kind of matter towards like the fundamentals 2 side of things. It's like a little bit more advanced. But one of the biggest contributors to getting the best exit speed is having the highest minimum speed throughout the corner, right? And if you get the highest minimum speed, you're likely that your exit speed is going to be higher. And then if you're on a straight, the better exit speed you have coming out of that corner, the higher you're going to be like at your speed throughout the entire straight. So like, let's say, for example, out of the hairpin on Tsukuba, you exit like 5 miles per hour faster than you normally do. You're going to carry that 5 miles per hour faster throughout the entire straight. And so you're going to make tons of time up. So like exit speed is like absolutely critical, especially for right before long straights. And so this kind of like applies to like parts of the track that aren't as long as well. So again, like exit speed is one of the most critical things about the racing line, and that's why you take the racing line to maximize your exit speed. So one of the most basic and fundamental ways to increase your exit speed, and again, is having the maximum minimum speed throughout the corner, like a highest minimum speed as possible. So you do this by simply just increasing the radius of your turn throughout the corner, right? So you start on the outside of the corner, you take the apex, and then you go back to the side. It's pretty like standard. I think if anyone is not familiar with that, please let me know, because that's like kind of what you see, like, you know, if you watch racing, Formula 1 or whatever, they always start from the outside of the corner, they take the apex, and then they go back outside. And like, obviously, the larger you have through a corner, the more speed you can carry through. And again, that's your minimum speed throughout the corner. You have to slow down the least if you have the largest arc, right? So I'm just going to go through on track and kind of go through different corners and just talk about what I call, a lot of people call the geometric line. And again, this is like talking about the idea of maximizing the minimum speed you take throughout the corner. So if everyone goes into the lobby and like spectates, go into the spectate mode, you'll be able to cycle through and find me on the track.
Okay, I don't know how to do any of that. Did you get out of the pit box or not?
Yeah, you get out of the pit box, get into the lobby, and then there's an option to get the binoculars.
You have to be in the pits to do it.
I have to be in the pits to do it?
Yeah, so right next to the green check mark or the red X, there's the enter course, and then to the right of that is spectate, the icon.
Okay, hold on a second.
Wait, who's that talking right now? Is that Little One?
I would think so. He's the only one on track at the moment.
All you have to do is hit select and exit.
I think he doesn't. I think he thinks he needs to hit. I don't think you can just exit out of the.
Oh, okay, you
track.
can.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Oh, here it is. I see binoculars. Okay, so you have to come out of the pit and then you hit exit. Go. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay. Is everyone spectating my car?
Tofu
Yes.
driver? Okay, yeah.
It's Wonka. Wonka is my car.
No, you
No,
can
just
select.
exit. You can just exit. Just hit you.
Oh, there you are. Wonka. Okay.
Yeah.
I know. I was in auto drive. I didn't know there was a thing.
Wonka, which view would you suggest we use?
Chase cam. So you
Okay.
can hit.
That's the one where you can see your entire
Should
car?
be square. Yes.
Yeah,
From
yeah,
the
that's
rear.
like-
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Is everyone spectating my car?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the geometric line, or like the biggest arc through the turn, is just simply you start on the left side of the track, and then you turn towards the center, and the midpoint here is X, and then going, you start accelerating, and you let the car kind of drift out to the left side. Right. That's like very, very basic, bare bones missing line stuff, right? And the next one, for instance, let's do the next turn. Here again, like all the way on the outside, blow a turn in, it's the apex, and then back out, accelerate, and you're back on the other side. This one right here, you just lift a little bit, and then outside, apex, outside again. And let's just do this last hairpin for brevity. So outside, apex at the center, and then accelerating. So that's what we call the geometric line, and it's actually not the fastest way around a corner, and it depends obviously on a bunch of different factors, but it's generally like pretty close to being the fast way around a corner. So there's some other factors that come into play around speed, right? So when you're coming up to a corner, a geometric line is it's considered like theoretical, right? It's like theoretically the fastest line. But like when you're in a car, there's a lot of other factors that come into effect when you're taking a turn, right? One is you might have less grip while you're accelerating, or like the grip around the turn isn't as good, or like your tires are worn, for example. So sometimes like a line, in most cases, a late apex is faster than a geometric line, because what you're effectively doing is you're slowing the car a little bit ahead of time. You're kind of waiting to turn in, and then you take a late apex to get a better exit speed out of the corner to maximize the speed when you're exiting. And for this car, I think a late apex here at Tsukuba works faster, slightly faster than a geometric line. So for example, here, same thing, like you take a little bit wider arc, and then you take a late apex, so you can accelerate throughout the exit of the turn and increase your exit speed. And this is the actual racing line for this specific car on this track. And I'll do one more here for the hairpin. So you brake, and then you turn a little bit. I'm exaggerating just a little bit. Oops, I'm exaggerating just a little bit. All right, let me redo that. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so you approach the corner, keep your car on the left side, and then you kind of turn a little later than you normally would. And then as you keep turning, you hit the apex on the back half of the turn to get a good exit all the way down the street.
Right.
So let's spend like the next like 20 minutes trying to practice this late apex and seeing if that helps your times at all. But the other thing I would recommend too is there's not much need to brake and turn with this car. I know a lot of people, you guys are like interested in like trail braking stuff, but you don't even need to do that to be fast in this car. You just brake and then let go of the brake entirely, turn, and then accelerate. Like you can get pretty times without trying to trail brake, and then it helps you manage the weight of the car better. It's more stable. So avoid trail braking for the purposes of this exercise. Yeah.
If I could just add something to the late apex, the reason that works is because you're straightening the line on the exit of the corner, so you don't have to steer as much as you're accelerating, and that's how you get the higher top speed on the exit.
Yep. That's precisely correct. Thank you, Toasty.
Yep.
All right, so then let's all just get back on track. Let's do a couple more practices and see if you can beat your best times. And we'll do that for another like 20 minutes or so, 15 minutes, and then we'll talk about braking and corner entry.
I'll probably go really slow.
Yeah, try to do all of your braking in a straight line. Like you don't need to brake and turn at all with this car.
Ooh, a little hot. A little hot.
Toasty, you beat my fastest lap.
Oh yeah.
So you said that late apexes isn't always the fastest with all cars? Is that correct?
It depends. Like, it depends on the corner, it depends on the type of car. Yeah, it depends on a lot of things. Like, I'll just talk about that for a little while you guys practice. So, one example is like cars with high downforce. So, cars with high downforce, they can turn better the faster they go. And sometimes, like, if there's like a wide radius turn for Formula One cars and high downforce cars, like they don't need to take a late apex because they can go so fast to the corner that the geometric line is like faster for them, basically.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, generally, if you compare the racing lines between a car like this and a car that has high downforce, the downforce car will drive more of a U shape, and then the slower car that relies more on mechanical grip will take more of a V shape.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
that's
that
kind
makes
of
sense.
the difference between taking the late apex and the geometric.
Yeah. I'd say the only. Yeah, I can. Or Toasty, go ahead. You can repeat it if you want.
Yeah, sure. So the U shape is our what we're calling the geometric line, the outside, inside to outside. Just very, very simple U shape, where the middle of the U is at the apex, and then the late apex is more of a V.
V shape.
So you're staying on the brakes a little bit deeper into the corner in a straight line, and then taking the apex a little bit later, and then straightening out the exit so that creates more of a V.
Yeah. Yeah, and the reason for that is, again, because like the cars with no downforce or just rely on mechanical grip, they can turn faster at slower speeds. So like you want to brake and slow the car down, rotate it, and basically just straight line it out of the car, which makes the racing line more into a V shape. With high downforce cars, the faster they go, the more downforce and more grip they have around some of these corners. So like they can carry higher minimum speeds through corners, and they end up looking more like the U shape or more like the geometric line around the turn. The only exception to like not high downforce cars that end up needing to take more of a geometric line are cars that have very little power, like very, very little power, and rely on keeping momentum to be fast. So like really slow go-karts, for example, follow more of a geometric line because you just simply need to keep the revs up on the cart as much as possible. Or like anything with an insanely small amount of horsepower that has like no power out of a curve, for example.
Right, because then you're limited by the power and not the grip.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and this car is like has just enough power so that a late apex is slightly faster than something closer to the geometric line. But yeah, in the fundamentals 2 practice, we'll talk a lot more about like the things that affect the racing line through a corner that aren't as obvious, like topography, like the elevation changes in the corner, the downforce of the car,
camber.
Yeah, camber. Yep. Yeah, we'll talk about that stuff in the second fundamentals practice. And that part's always really interesting because like that. When I was a beginner, like I didn't really understand how like elevation changes affected how much grip you had through a corner, and how you can exploit that to simply go faster.
Yeah, some people on the entry of turn 1 here, they take an earlier turn-in point because of that elevation change. So they turn in early and then brake in as straight a line as possible to avoid having the ABS kick in over the crest there.
Yep.
When I did the circuit experience today, that's exactly what the demonstration did.
Yep.
We started wide and just went straight in towards the corner.
Yeah, and
Of course, I couldn't
depends
do that.
on the car too.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like the game doesn't explain any of it. You just like see like the ideal line sometimes, and you're like,
Oops,
why
I
does the
just
game
cut it off way
do
too
it
tight.
that way? And yeah, it never really explains like the concepts behind understanding the line or understanding the grip and stuff. So.
No, but it used to do that. I have a book somewhere from GT5 that was written by that Skip Barber Racing School, and they went through all of that stuff. Front-wheel drive, acute angle apexes and obtuse, and depending on... And now it's just kind of a dumbed-down version.
Yeah,
of course, I can't find that book.
Yeah, I don't remember that book that well.
It was with the... You had to have the collector's edition.
Oh, okay.
It's digital now. It's still there. It's
is it?
Beyond the apex. If you go like all the way to the upper left hand, it's a section called Beyond the Apex.
Oh, okay, good. Because it was just a little book. But it had so much cool information in it. Tuning guide and the whole works.
Yeah, the tuning guide's pretty decent Beyond
Whoa.
the Apex.
Okay, I'll have to look because it probably is exactly the same thing I'm talking about.
I'm watching. I'm spectating Sneak right now. It looks like your apex line, your entry line into the each corner is good, but it looks like you're on the throttle just a little bit going to the apex, and some people call that maintenance throttle just to try and keep up the minimum speed of the car, but that's actually pushing you wide past the apex there, so just focus on just coasting to the apex instead.
Are you talking to me?
No,
Yeah,
that was
sneak.
me.
Oh, sneak.
Oh.
Sorry, I don't know your voices
It's
yet.
hard. Yeah, it's hard to tell the voices. Yeah, is anyone having like any particularly difficult time with the car in terms of handling so far? Like, any questions?
No,
I'm
biggest
not
problem-
entirely sure if I'm doing the late apex right or not, but
You'll know if
extremely
you're doing it
light.
late. Yeah, if you know if you're doing it right, if like you're hitting the inside bumper of the turn, in curves of the turn, like ever so slightly later than the midpoint.
Yep.
Like
And then
you don't want to do it too late, because then if you do it way too late, then you're probably not you're probably over slowing the car to get to that super late apex. You just want it like a little bit late.
Yeah, and the two corners on this track where it's generally more beneficial are the turn one, I guess you could call it a hairpin, it's kind of a wide hairpin, and then the final hairpin going on to the straight.
Yep.
The rest of the corners, it won't be as beneficial because there isn't a long straight following or a long acceleration zone.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Somebody's
and that's
crawling
why
up behind me.
sometimes-
I'll let you by.
And that's why sometimes it depends on like where on track where like a late apex is faster, for instance. Like if there's a corner complex with like 3 turns in it, sometimes it's better to take the closest geometric line through there because you're keeping your minimum speed up as best as possible. But because if you were to take a late apex on all like 3 turns next to each other, it would just slow your car down way too much. So like again, like it depends on the corner, where the corner is in relative to the straights is what determines the ideal line through that corner. And we'll kind of go through this whenever we go to Maggiore center track with the turn 1 cornering complex. Alright, so we'll let you guys do a couple more laps, and maybe in like 5 minutes we'll talk about braking and corner entry.
So I don't know if I'm getting ahead, and feel free to be like, we're going to get to that, but on Tsukuba, the hardest part has always been I seem to be able to do the big gradual curve in either incredibly slowly or my ass is coming around.
In this
Like
car?
I can never, yeah, I can never
Yeah.
figure out how to get that, like what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
The last
so,
corner?
Stay in the throttle just a little bit, and that'll help you from getting that oversteer.
And
Yeah,
anytime you're have a big change in input, that will unsettle the car, right? It'll make the car dive forward if you're lifting off the throttle abruptly, or kind of lean back if you're getting onto the throttle abruptly. So with that corner, it's all about being smooth, and if you need to brake for it, just like gradually letting off the brakes and then gradually a little bit onto the throttle, and smooth with your steering as well as to not cause any abrupt left to right motions, and that's what really causes the car to slide there.
yeah, we'll talk about a little bit about that too in the next section with like the braking and the corner entry. I think that's pretty relevant. So we'll get there.
Sweet.
But yeah, Toasty is pretty just pretty much nailed it on the head. It's like you want to smooth out your inputs. Like if you're braking hard and then you turn hard at the same time, or you brake and then you turn too fast, like it'll unsettle the balance of the car, and then the
Oh
rear
my
will slip
God, that
out,
was
or
world of difference. Just smoothing out, letting it out, and not dumping it off. And
Nice. Yeah, I remember one time watching a clip from, I think it was the V8 Supercar Championship back before the last the most recent big regulation change, where they were a bit more narrow. They had a bit, I mean, they still have narrow tires, but they had very narrow tires and a lot of power, no assist or anything like that. And it was at a street circuit, and this guy, he looked like he was just flowing around the track. He was very smooth, but it looked slow because the car wasn't diving and dipping and diving all over the place, but he was the fastest. So I was like, wait a second, like, he looks like he's going so slow around here, but it's because he's smooth that he was able to get the time out of it instead of being aggressive with inputs.
Yep. Same with karting. Like, if you're smooth, you're gonna be fast.
Oh, too much, too much. Oh.
Okay.
See, Sneak, you're not the only one that goes off track.
well, I can tell everyone here what the last one I went through. The first thing I did with LRC, like hardly anyone ended up showing up, so I want to say it was I think it was me and Toast, because no one else had showed up and it was going to be an ACC thing. So he was trying to help me out, so we went into here. I don't remember what car, but he was just kind of spectating me, and when I started, I couldn't make a lap. Like, I could not get one lap around here without finding a wall, because it's not a track I'd done a bunch.
No, that was with me, yeah. With Wonka,
Nice.
Yeah.
I remember we like jumped into ACC, and we're like, let's just go to GT7.
Yeah.
It was actually like that for me yesterday when I jumped on here with this car. I get this snap over steer in corner number 1 and just spin out, and now I'm taking everything too fast.
Yeah, so we'll get into that in just a bit. So now I'll let everyone, if you finish up your lap, and then once you're done, jump back out into the lobby, and then go back into the spectator mode again, and then we'll talk about corner entry.
I can tell you one thing, sure is a lot smoother than when I first got in this car.
That's good.
I was feathering it around the whole time. I'm like, oh, I'm getting loose in the back.
Just out of curiosity, you guys use the cockpit view or do you use the hood view?
I use the bumper cam.
Same.
I use cockpit.
Bumper cam.
I'll tend to use the bumper cam if I'm racing on my screen, but I just use VR most of the time when I can.
VR
the
game.
best. Yeah.
Oops.
How is VR in this game? Is it super choppy or is it pretty smooth?
Beautiful.
It's
VR is the
incredible.
best.
Like it changes the game entirely. Like it's absolutely insane.
Do I need
I
the
highly
Pro for that?
recommend it. No, you don't even need the Pro. You just need a PS5.
The only
Although I
thing
hear
is,
it is better on the Pro.
the only thing that's bad
I've heard
about
it's
VR
better, but it's not. I'm sorry.
I just think there's just some minor, graphic changes and like just better FPS. That's pretty much it.
Well, I just got a PS5, so I'm not gonna get an upgraded one.
It's
what
not
I'm
really a
looking
big
at.
difference,
VR?
I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. it
I've
would be
heard
worth
if you
it.
have it, it's slightly better, but it's not at all worth $400 extra for
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Kind
it's
of like
750 Canadian a year.
kind of like the PS4 Pro versus the PS4.
Yeah.
There wasn't
It's
a
like if you
huge
haven't
difference.
Yeah. It's like if you haven't bought a PS5 yet and you have the extra money, like get
Right.
the Pro, but it's not worth it.
Do you feel more consistent on a VR, or do you feel more consistent with a screen?
About the same.
About the same.
Yeah, and I think we're going to talk about this right now. If you know how to use your reference, then it's pretty easy to be consistent on both. So, let's just get into talking about corner entry. So, corner entry determines everything about the corner, of how fast you go, your line, everything. Like, it all starts with corner entry. And the more consistent you are with your corner entry, the more consistent you are going to be with the rest of the corner and the exit as well. So a good corner entry follows, what follows a good corner entry is a good mid corner and then a good exit as well. Usually if you nail the entry, it's much easier to have a good rest of the corner. So like making sure that you're consistent on the entry, in position, in braking, and then in turning, and all those three things. If you're consistent in all those three things, you're going to be very consistent throughout the corner, and the exit as well. So when you approach a corner, you always want to make sure your car is to the left side as much as possible, right? So if
For a right-hander.
For the right-hander, yeah. No, like every turn, you want to be on the left side of the track. No, yeah, it's like if you're on the left hand, right, and the track is turning right, so turn one is a perfect example, right? If I take the turn starting from here, right, I'm going to be able to take the racing line much better because I'm well positioned for the corner entry, and then I'm going to get a better exit, right? If I'm off the line, and this may seem pretty obvious to a lot of you, like if I enter the corner here, right, it's going to be way harder for me to keep my minimum speed up. It's going to be harder for me to turn in. It's going to be hard for me to get a good late apex, because I'm going to have to slow down even more, and then like try to get a good apex from here. I have to slow the car way more than I would if this was on the left side of the track, right? This next corner here, right? The angle at which your car is pointing also matters a lot when you enter a corner. So if I'm entering the corner here, the ideal spot to enter the corner is where your car's straight parallel to the right hand side of the track, and you're gonna turn left into the corner right here. So this might kind of seem obvious, but it's not as easy to do when like the part of the track before this turns left, right? So what I see a lot of people do, especially around turn 2 at Tsukuba, is you'll go here and like you're gonna approach this turn, and then like what you'll do is I see a lot of people just take the turn like this, and that's like just not ideal because you're entering the corner from a position that's pretty much in the center of the track, right? So you're basically trying to take the turn from here as opposed to all the way from here, right? You get a better exit speed, you get better turn, you get better arc. So what you want to make sure you do is when you approach corners, you position your car to be in the best position for the corner entry. So for this example, right, when you approach this turn 2, you want to kind of take this right-hander here a little bit on the outside and then line your car up like here to get the turn in around turn 2. And so you have to make sure that you're paying attention to these small details when you enter the corner, because again, like if you just take it incorrectly, it's going to mess up with your consistency, right? If you always take it in the same way, your car is pointing the same way, then your corner is going to be pretty consistent. The other aspect of corner entry is just simply braking, and we whenever you're braking, I hope you guys aren't using like the braking assist, like the braking zone assist. What you
No.
want to do is you want to use references around the track to determine where you should start braking. And these references should be stuff that doesn't move. So it could be like the 50-meter board. If you're looking at my car in Chase Cam, there's that green 50-meter board to the left. That's like a very good visual indicator for me of when to start braking for the next turn. What people will do oftentimes is if you go into like cockpit view or even bumper cam, for instance, like you can see different parts of the track relative to your screen, for example. So if you're looking at my car with bumper cam, like you can see the 50-meter board all the way to the left of the screen, and like that could be an indicator of when I should start braking, for example. If like as soon as I pass that 50-meter board and it goes off screen, that's when I know I should start braking. And if you use that references consistently every time, you know you're going to hit your braking to be perfect to enter the corner at the right speed. So again, for corner consistency, use visual braking references. Get your car all the way onto the side of the track before entry, and then those two things alone would be really good things that would help your consistency and improving your corner entry, the mid corner, and the exit as well. Yeah, so let's talk about more braking references real quick. So for turn 1, for example, there's a lot of like other visual indicators you could potentially use for when you should start braking. Like one example could be like this runoff road here on the left side. Like when it ends, for example, when your car passes the back half of that little like piece of road, that could be an indicator of when you should start braking as well. You could use tire marks on the track, but tire marks aren't particularly reliable, especially in real life, because they're not going to be there the next day. But sometimes in GT7 they're like always there and they always appear like pretty similarly. So sometimes you could use tire marks in this game, but I wouldn't rely on that specifically. Use things that are like close to the track, or basically don't move. Like don't use shadows, for example. Don't use I don't know, clouds. So basically use stuff that's not going to move. So yeah, any questions around corner entry? Yeah, so to recap again, like use a braking reference to determine when you brake. Keep your car parallel to the side opposite of the turn, and then make sure your car is like parallel with it so that you can get the best turning. So like you don't want to be, for instance, like pointing this way or like pointing this way, right? Like as you enter the corner, you want to be straight. So especially turn 2, like when you guys get to turn 2, really practice the corner entry around lining the car up on the right side of the track before the corner. So like when you get to this section here, you can kind of take this like squiggly a little bit wide here and then line up the car like this to get the best corner entry into turn 2. So let's practice that, and then practice like, you know, our braking references and see if we can improve our times even further. So we'll do this for like another maybe 20 minutes till the end of the hour. We'll take a break and then we'll start getting into the next section of practice.
The one thing about the braking references on the track, I noticed this in the Manufacturer's Cup. Light conditions and rain, it erases all of that stuff. You can't see any marks on the track. You know, because like the Nürburgring, you can be like, oh, there's all these chalk marks and I'll use them. No, not in the rain, you won't. So,
yeah. There's there's been plenty of times where I've done stuff like that, where I use like even the foam boards on the side of the road that have the braking distance, like the 100 meter and the 50 meter, like sometimes people can crash through those, right? And then you don't have those for the rest of the race. So even those sometimes could be tricky. Like you want to have references that are basically indestructible to reference when you brake.
Yeah, and the higher up those references are, the better, because if you're right behind a car, using a reference that's on the racing line will be invisible to you until the car passes that point. So if you're using a braking board that's up above a barrier, or a sponsor banner that you pass under or something, that will be much more consistent for you than a mark on the track.
So how do you pick your first braking markers? Because I feel like when I watch a track walk or I have something going into it, I'm pretty good at hitting markers. But when I start a new track, especially like with a new car I haven't really driven, what do you start with?
Yeah,
Slow.
Oh, go
Right.
ahead, Tess, you can take this one.
Yeah, so to start, I would just start picking ones very early, like incredibly early, to the point where you know the car is going to be able to stay on the track. And then as you're following this racing line, you're figuring it out, you're going to be faster and faster through each corner, which will cause your braking references to become relevant almost, because those early braking markers where you thought this is too early, you're now taking so much more speed through every corner that it becomes much closer to what you would see in a track walk. So, for example, if you're learning turn one on this track, for example, and you haven't been here before, pretty much just brake before a point you would see in any track walk video, pretty much. Probably before the access road on the left, really. And then you're going through there, and then for the turn 2, what we're calling turn 2 hairpin, it's like, okay, I'm braking at the right after the squiggly bit, and then the next time you go through turn 1, you might go through there a lot faster, but then you're prepared for that because you're building in some margin so that you're not flying off the track in the second corner, if that makes sense. You kind of build up to it. It's much easier to start slow and build up to it than to try and set the fastest time you can from the start, and then you're constantly thinking like, how did I off that corner that time? How can I adjust?
Or you just try to squeeze it in there some way or another and it never works out.
Right. Yeah. Bit of a roundabout answer to answer that question, but I hope that made sense.
Another thing I'll add too is that I think one big misconception about going faster on a track is that people feel like they need to brake later to go faster around a corner. And that's partially true, but the way you gain time is way more dependent on how well your exit speed is. So you can brake earlier and just brake less over a little bit longer period of time, and you actually won't lose that much time. But your consistency will improve like greatly, right? And it's better to brake earlier and then brake less so that you can have like a little bit of an adjustment period than trying to brake as late as possible at maximum brake pressure, and there's very little room for error. You'll make a lot more mistakes. You'll be a lot less consistent. So you can always brake earlier. Just brake a little bit less. Like, you don't need to brake at 100%. Just brake at like 80%, for example. And that can also help with consistency going into the corner.
I'm spectating Quapo now, or El Quapo. That line through turn 1 was really good, but same kind of thing with the little bit of throttle to the apex. Just focus on coasting to the apex, just lifting off the brake gradually as you get there, maybe like 5 or 10% brake before you get to the apex, and then gradually onto the throttle. Because the little bit of throttle that you're leaving in is causing the car to go wide. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, if you're having trouble with like the corners and the car stepping out a little bit during the corners, like sliding and skidding, try starting out by just going through the corners like slower, but try to smooth out your inputs as much as possible. So just like go through the corners slowly, but just as smooth as possible as you can. Like brake and then transition into the turning in slowly, making sure that you hit the late apex, and then getting on the gas slowly as well. Like try to be as smooth as possible. Like even applying the brakes, you can apply the brakes like smoothly, just to like get you in that like mindset of smoothing out your inputs. Like smooth on brakes, smooth off the brakes, smooth on turn in, smooth on the throttle.
Yeah, so if you're consistently noticing that you're drifting out wide on the corner corner exit, then that usually means you're applying too much throttle too early. Even if the back of the car isn't starting to slide around under throttle, that can cause you to go wide.
Oh.
Oh.
So something to kind of think about, something that will hopefully clear up like what we're trying to explain. So if you're looking at the HUD, you can see your throttle and brake trace. If you can't see the HUD, then I guess just to imagine the two pedals. On a corner entry, you want to start the at the start of the braking point, your reference, you're at full throttle, and then you slowly lift off the throttle, slowly apply the brake, right? And then as you're going towards your turn-in point in this car, you're slowly releasing the brake, turning in, you're fully off of the brake, going to the apex, and then very gradually onto the throttle. So you're not full throttle until almost all the way on the outside of the corner exit again.
String theory, right?
String
Yes.
theory.
Yeah, string theory. Yeah. A lot of
Tie a
people
string
refer
to the
it
steering wheel and to the pedals?
Yep.
Now, see, I'm glad
like
you didn't
to-
say beam.
I like
String beam
to-
theory?
I like to just call it, I not really call it anything, but I like to think of it as just grip utilization is just 100%.
Yeah.
And so if you're turning 100%, you're max turning, you're basically using that 100% of grip. And so there's no room for acceleration or brake, right? But if you're braking at 50%, you're allowed to turn about 50%, or the utilization of the grip 50%. So
Almost in the 108s.
Same with acceleration, right? If you're accelerating 90%, you're not going to be able to turn any more than 10% to stay on the track with the grip utilization.
Right.
And then the grip utilization can change depending on conditions, right? It could be like if it's a corner that's banked, for instance, right? Maybe the grip utilization is more like 120% that you can actually use, so you can actually turn and accelerate more than you normally would because the turn is banked, right? Or if it's like the camber is off camber, the grip utilization is maybe 80%, so you might not be able to accelerate as well and turn as much as you want at the same time.
Yeah.
But we'll
Or
get
you-
into those things a little bit later. I think that's the fundamentals too.
Yeah. Or you could think about it as your 100% changes. That's the way I like to think about it, but depending on how your
Yeah.
brain does math.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Slowly.
Yeah. For me, I like arithmetic. Like I don't know, arithmetic is just like, yeah. Or the other way to think about it too is like if you have 100%, right? Actually, that doesn't work. I was gonna say if like the turn is off camber, like the off camber part maybe takes away 20%. That's kind of similar to like what I was talking about. You only have 80% available to you because the turn is off camber, and then if the turn is like banked, for instance, then you have like an extra 20% available to you because you have extra mechanical grip.
Don't lose it.
All right, so let's finish up our laps. Let's take a 10-minute break. So let's reconvene 10 after the hour, and then we'll get started with the last section of this practice. We'll talk about corner complexes. So like the racing line through like multiple consecutive turns and how to think about the ideal line through those.
I got a 108, but it's invalidated.
Almost.
That's because I drove past.
So again, like, feel free to take a break, like jump out, do whatever you need to do, or feel free to keep practicing. But we'll continue 10 after the hour.
Is the majority up?
What was that?
Is the majority lobby up?
No, we'll switch the track once everyone's back.
Oh, okay.
So that way people can continue to practice on scuba.
Oh.
gonna stop the video here, and then I'll start it again once we get started. I just can't forget to restart it.
I'll try and remind you again.
Appreciate it.
Our room is a sauna.
Every time I've been trying to like record anything, it's always like, oh crap, yeah.
Anytime that I did the track walks for the last Academy season, I had start record right at the top of my notes, just like
yeah.
Start recording.
Stretch was low. 107.44. Really good
Nice.
time.
Yeah, so my time picked up a bit after I let go of everything I was doing before.
Nice. Was there like one thing specifically that you felt like really improved your time?
The brake marker, where you said where the brake markers was, that helped. I was braking a little later than that, and probably
okay, yeah.
not long enough on the brakes.
Right.
Once I got that out of my head and said, look, just do what they said, regardless of everything that I knew before, it helped.
Oh shit.
So if you're doing your lap right, there shouldn't be any squeal, right?
There's going to be
a little bit
A little
of
bit
squeal.
still.
Yeah, because then the tires trying hard to do something, you know, like that's the 100% grip utilization. And you're using all the tire, then it's gonna make a little bit of noise.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be sliding. Like if you're sliding, then you're doing too much.
Right.
This thing is so unforgiving.
What's that? The car?
Yeah, it lets you step over
Yeah.
the line.
The Porsche was so much nicer.
Well, the Porsche had a tune-up to it too. This one's not bad if you put a tune in it.
Yeah, I
Even
can see
brake
that.
balance made a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so you cannot go over the green astroturf on corner number 2. In the corner. I
Did
got
it give
track
you a
penalty
penalty
for
or?
that. It sure did. So it's like at Spa, you know, at the last hairpin, cut that green astroturf off.
Substitute truck.
But it's really hard on the car, or at least on the
Yeah.
911, the one you do start experience on. It bounces all over the place. Because that's something I usually do too. A new track, I just drive all over the place and see where I get penalties.
Yeah. That's part of learning the track, figuring out
Yeah,
how much track width
Um,
exists.
you can, you know what, you can cut off and stuff. Like at Le Mans, you can cut off almost every chicane, as long as you don't go too far. You got to have some tires on the outside of the curb, but otherwise you can just slice it right off. I have a quest for a 4-minute lap in a GT4 car.
You're just gonna drop a nuke, isn't you?
Good.
Ah.
Oh no. Oh, okay.
However, everyone is just still driving.
Yeah. This is a
Keep
fun
up the grind.
car track combo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't like it when I first got in it, but I like it now.
Hey, I know we're on a break. It's hard for me to tell. If one of you guys are willing to spectate me, make sure I'm actually taking the corner correctly. I'm not entirely sure if I'm doing it right.
Yeah, sure, I can do that. Who's speaking right now?
Anti-Herox.
Alright, I can do it.
Watch me
Any
completely biff it all. Biff it
Any
now that I
corner
know I'm being watched.
specifically, or just all of them?
Any of them, honestly.
Alright. That was pretty close to ideal. That was just like you had a little bit of a swerve.
Oh. Oh. 107. Sweet.
Wow.
Too much.
Oh God.
Yes.
Battery join.
Am I hitting that late apex correctly, or am I hitting it too late?
Yeah, I think you're braking a little too. In general, I think you're braking a little too late, and you're going too far into the corner, and then your speed is not. You're trying to maintain that minimum speed, so you just end up, going. You're not hitting the apex close enough. So I would say, turn 1 last lap was good. I would say brake earlier for turn 2 and the last hairpin. Yeah, you don't need to go like that deep into the corner, like on the entry. Like when you're getting to the point where you're getting into the marbles, that's just too deep. Like you're taking the late apex, but your line is an exaggerated late apex like too much. It's like it's too much exaggerated.
Okay.
Yeah. So like brake slightly earlier, and then start turning in just a little bit earlier. But then like take a late apex, but don't make it as aggressive as you were making earlier. All right, what time is it?
11 after.
Time to go.
All right, so I'll wait till everyone finish up your lap, and then jump back into the lobby, and then I'll switch it over to Lake Maggiore.
Oh my god. Bad habits.
So are we jumping all the way out for a new room, or are you just changing it in the settings?
I'm just changing it in the settings.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Coming into the
wait till-
pits.
Detroit, could you say that? Could you not say that yet? Type that again, Detroit. We're gonna practice corner complexes. Central. Alright. Did the voice like text to speech like change? It sounds like a
Feminine.
it sounds like a lighter, more feminine than usual.
I think he reversed his age. Puberty is gone.
So funny. Alright. I'm gonna enter the course, and then we'll talk about the first corner complex here. Yeah, it definitely sounds like slightly different, but anyway. Okay, so Lake Maggiore is turn 1 complex here.
Are you recording?
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Start over.
Oh my god.
Alright, Lake Maggiore, this first turn complex is kind of similar to, I don't know, like Gio Villeneuve, like the Montreal track, turn 1. So if you take these two corners and you separate them and you look at them individually, right? The ideal line is kind of like, let's just talk about like the geometric line, right? And this would take you to the apex, and then a geometric line would take you out to here, right? But obviously, this is a very, very poor position to be in when you're going to take turn 2, right?
Oh god.
And what you want to do is you want to treat these two corners as like a corner complex, and then maximize your speed out of the corner complex, because from turn 2 basically to the rest of the track till the last turn is basically going to be full throttle. So exit speed out of turn 2 is going to be the most important aspect of this corner complex, right? So turn 1 then, you want to compromise your exit out of turn 1 so that you get a better entrance into turn 2, but you also don't want to compromise it so much that you lose speed, right? So like one might think that it might be best to just always take turn 1 and then take this tight so that you're going to be all the way to the left here, right? To take turn 2, so you get the best 2. But if you take turn 1 like that, you're just going to lose too much time through turn 1. right? So the best line ends up being almost like the median or the middle between what I just did and the geometric line. And so what you want to do is you want to approach the corner just like you do at any corner, right? Like you want to be on the right side because it's turning left. Make sure your car is parallel to the line. And then as you enter the corner, a late apex is not necessary here because remember, we're not trying to maximize the speed on a straight after this turn. So we take something more of like a geometric line, but we want to be somewhere near the middle of the track and maybe even a little bit closer to the left side. So like somewhere around here, so that when we enter turn 2, we have a good entrance and a good line to get a good late apex around turn 2 to get good exit speed. You can cut the curves quite a bit around turn 2 without getting the penalty. So just keep that in mind. But again, like the late apex comes at turn 2 because turn 2 leads into the straightaway, which you want to have the most speed, right? And again, turn 1, you want to keep your minimum speed up, so you don't want to take too tight of a line into turn 1 to set you up for turn 2. You want to take a medium line. So again, when you come up to turn 1, take the line, and then you want your car to be somewhere in the middle of the track, and then turn 2 is where you take the late apex to get a good exit speed for the rest of the track. And I think you can take this flat out. Let me just check. Yeah, you can take this flat out, I think. So again, turn 2 is absolutely crucial for speed in this configuration. And then this last turn up here is just like any other turn. It's just not a cornering complex, but you use your braking references, and then the apex. That was not late apex, but you guys know what I mean. But yeah, let's practice this cornering complex, and then we'll practice it for like 10-15 minutes or so, and then we'll just do some like fun practice races around here to end the session. So jump out on track, get your laps in. Remember everything that we learned from the first track at Scuba, like using the braking references, getting acquainted when you brake early, brake less. Start slower, go through the corners slower to build consistency.
Ooh.
Sorry guys, my TV turned off, so I can't see where I am.
That last hairpin is pretty difficult.
Yeah.
What the heck is going on?
You gotta brake more for it than it seems like you do.
I think the 50 board is fine, but you just got to stay on them a little longer.
I would definitely try closer to 100. If you get turn 2, you get turn 2 down really well, then closer to 100 is where you want to start braking.
Yeah, 100 is a good starting point. What's up, Ryder?
stretch, you stretched it a little too far.
Just a bit.
Should we get up on this sausage curb on this hairpin? I mean, not on the sausage curb, but right up against it.
I would say, yeah, right up against it, yeah.
I mean, it's fine in this car, but you can't take that in a fast car. It'll just go all over the track.
Yeah. You typically want to just avoid all sausage curbs in general.
Whoop, a little too hot there. Oh. No worries.
Alright. It's funny how this car struggles a little bit to accelerate up that hill.
It does, yeah.
Oh, a couple of sausage curbers.
It loses the ass really easy.
Yeah, it does.
Oh wait. Oh wait, BOP, these things, oh, it's so slow. Oh well.
Woo!
It is weird this only has 130 horsepower, because that was what the NA made back in 90.
Oh, come on.
We won either side of him there.
I didn't want to move. I was just like, I'll just stay here.
That's the best thing to do.
I'm kind of having a hard time finding a braking reference for that first turn after that long straight.
Yeah, so for me, it's I I think it's just after the second to last board on the
Okay.
top right.
A good point for
Well,
me,
let you
I
know.
just did is you'll see the fence line for like the safety fence right when it ends is a good point for me. Kind of a weird point of reference, but
I got a penalty.
Oh, that's much later than I've been breaking, Ryder.
yeah.
Guess I seriously get T-bone. The fuck, man. My car is hurt.
It'll buff out.
Hold on.
It only takes 6 seconds to change an engine, so it, you'll be all right.
I think there might be a person standing out that fence line that you could use as a reference instead of just a fence. If
Was it the fence I'm talking about is the giant metal fence,
Yeah.
not the like the little
yeah,
one.
it's right by that marker. The flagging box, the flag box, right? You know when they put yellow or blue
Like the-
out and the box lights up?
Yeah, the light box.
Yeah, the light box.
It seems late.
Yeah, there's a red-headed guy about 4 car lengths before that light box.
Never trust a ginger.
No.
I mean, I think he'll probably be there forever. I don't think he moves. He's like a steward or something.
That's what they want you to think.
That'd be funny if he actually does move, like ever so slowly.
I know, it's kind of screwed up the breaking. Not the breaking
So they should
point,
make
but
a
our
war game
reference.
out of it. That'd be cool.
Oh, cut that off way too tight.
Oh, hello. Oh, good.
Oh no.
You make it out of there or something?
What the fuck are you doing?
Is that Dutra and Virgil at the inside of
Yeah, turn 2.
turn 1?
Yeah. Some shenanigans going on there. Alright, so let's do like 3 more minutes, and then we'll do some fun sprint races to end the end practice.
Bro, don't do it. No. There's people here. What the fuck? What? Who is that? Thank you.
That was me.
Thank you. Thank you for standing up to a bully.
Deetra and Virgo, make sure you guys aren't getting yourselves on the track.
So Toasty, did reinstalling the game help your problem?
What's up?
Did reinstalling the game help your steering wheel problem?
I don't know, we haven't gotten into a race session yet, so I'll let you know when it usually happens. Race or qualifying.
Wonka, can you tell us again? What was that? What do you want? Something about the track? It's like a genuine question, I'm not joking.
What?
Wonka said something about us, me and Dutra or something.
Y'all two are.
Yeah, just don't stray
Go on
on
the track.
turn 1, yeah. And mess up other people's lines and stuff.
Oh shit.
Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to. Alright, finish up your lap and then head back into the lobby. And then I will set the order for our sprint race, which will be 3 laps long. We'll do a few of them, basically till the end of the into the end of the hour, and we'll get some wheel-to-wheel racing in just for fun.
Toasty, I get you got me by 0.02 of a second.
What's up?
Got me by 0.02 of a second in your lap.
Oh. I haven't even been paying attention to lap times, I'm just driving.
Alright, for the veterans here, I'm gonna put us all in the back.
Understandable.
But I would say once we get near the people in front of us,
You have to put it in reverse.
yeah, maybe Dutra. For Dutra, you can do that. Yeah.
Partial race.
I would say, okay, so for the purposes of the veterans and the coaches, just don't just like pass everyone. Like serve as like opponents basically that adjust to their level, right? So don't just like cruise past everyone and then just like win the race. We'll be like basically like attacking and defending as we go through the field.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Alright. Anyone have any questions or anything before we start this? It's just a 3-lap race. I hope that all of you have read the passing guidelines and watched the video in our license channel. If not, So what constitutes a clean pass at LRC is that you want to be at least past the A pillar of the car next to you so they can see you in their peripheral. That is what will allow you to have, that's what entitles you to space in the corner. So if you try to dive bomb someone while they're turning in and then, bump into them or even cause them to have to evade you, that's an unclean pass. That's not very welcome around these boots. So remember to race cleanly, and then obviously mistakes do happen. So if you end up making a mistake and running someone off or whatever, just say sorry and then wait up for them on track. But don't wait up for them like immediately, like on the racing line. Just wait till you get on the straight and then go off the racing line, wait for them. That's kind of like our gentleman's rules. So if you make a invalid pass or you end up running into someone off the road, we just kind of wait till they catch back up.
Can you say again where do you want your front tires where in relation to their car?
The front of your car should be past their A pillar, so basically around their windshield.
Okay.
Like past their windshield.
Okay.
Yeah.
Their side mirror.
Yeah, side mirror is
the number on the. Well, I'm probably the only one who has. Well, everybody has a number.
Yeah. Yep. And then the other thing too is if you go off track, make sure you join the track safely. Don't ruin someone else's race just because you're careless about getting on track. And with that, we'll start our first race. So good luck, everyone. Have a good race. And stay clean.
It has been a minute to use these things. And I miss racing this.
No.
What the fuck? Ooh, false starts will be okay.
Yep.
I don't like that, Fred. That wasn't very welcoming.
It was to single out the Canadian.
Oh, sorry.
Whoop.
Oh my god.
Oops. All right then.
Def.
Oh shit! Sorry, Ryder. Forgot to mention that we have cold tires.
Well, I don't think there's tire wear or.
No, it's on. I think it's on 1X.
Oh my god.
Oh god,
Oh.
sorry.
Gotta stop doing ditches. Oh man.
Oh, I'm glad you ghosted.
Good grief. It's like this is the first time I've ever been to this track.
This is the first time I've ever been on this track.
Is it?
Same.
Yeah, I have never raced on this. Like, I may have at some point, like, unlocking stuff, but I have
there's
no
not very many
recollection
races.
of it.
I think there's only.
The layout isn't used like at all. I think there's only one race here.
Two.
At the,
I think.
so yeah,
Front, and a mid, and a front rear.
that sounds right.
I think one is like the Volkswagen race or something.
I guarantee you, I do not like this track.
So next week we're gonna do a lot of
sorry. Shit.
wheel-to-wheel racing stuff. So that's gonna be real fun.
Sneaky, real sneaky.
Just curious, it's gonna be this car the entire time, or a different car per?
Different cars for different practices, but I think I might stick with this one just for. Actually, I don't know. We'll see.
I like
I
it.
haven't figured out yet. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Conscious with a win.
Definitely keep putting me in pole position, please.
We're gonna do a reverse grid order for the next one.
Oh, great.
Well,
I mean, it's not like half of these races is survive the first lap and get away.
I was gonna say I didn't pass a single person. The only passes I made were people that crashed.
That's how it be sometimes.
Most
You know,
of my passes in
that's-
sport mode are that.
That's such a universal thing. Like, if you ever join iRacing, it's like that in iRacing for the first. If you're in rookies, it's the same thing. You just avoid everyone crashing, and as long as you don't crash, you'll get a top 5 finish. It's really funny how that's the case.
Yeah,
Pretty
I
much
see
all
all the
platforms.
like the
even got
Sim
paid,
Racing
too.
Steward thing on Reddit, Wonka. And so many of iRacing and the rookies, and they're just demolishing each other.
yeah, it's pretty funny. All right. Toasty, could you do me a favor and read the results in reverse order?
Sure. So Sneak will be on pole,
All right,
And then-
Sneak, pole position.
and then Tofu. Then we
Ooh,
have
all right.
Little Watt and Stretch, and then
Want stretch. Okay.
Badger and Futura. Anti-heroics and Quapo.
All right.
Burgled, me, you, Ryder, and Conscious.
So Conscious, you're gonna go behind Quapo. You're gonna be in the midfield.
okie dokie.
And yeah, there we go. All right, let's go again.
Also,
Yeah, one of the challenging things about racing wheel to wheel on a track, especially that you're not familiar with, is that you have to kind of race off the racing line, and so all of your references that you use to typically brake for a corner might be slightly different because you're not on the ideal racing line, for example. So
yeah,
we're gonna
it's-
go
has-
over a lot of that next week.
It hasn't been said. Please put on your close radar, especially in the first couple of laps.
Rewind. Oh my god.
Shit.
Purple's gone.
Oh my god!
Holy shit. How did we manage to do that? Oh, my time's limited. Oh, fuck. Yeah, my time. He's running me wide!
Teacher's like the serial killer that's chasing down Regold. Oh goodness!
Oh my.
Oh, that's a lot of.
What the fuck?
I think someone missed the reference there.
I saw who it was. Came inside of me and Toasty, and just all I heard was tire squeal. It's interesting. These little cars getting the use out of these sports stuffs.
No worries, man.
Oh my god. I can't control this car.
Track race to the finish. Who's gonna get it?
Oh, free wide.
Oh.
Why did we finish? Wow.
That was gnarly.
I'm gonna hit Dutra. Come on. Hit Dutra. Yeah!
All right. Toasty, can you do the honors again?
Yep. So, all this time will be Dadster,
That's their pole position.
and then Anti-Heroics and
Okay.
Tofu and Stretch,
All right.
Wapo and Burgold, you and Dutra,
Okay.
Ryder, and then me, and Conscience and Little Watt.
Oops. Conscious and Little Watt, you guys are gonna go behind Popo. Alright. We'll do this one. We'll do two more. And then we'll do like a fun ridiculous race on a track where no one can practice.
Bro dipped as he ran me wide.
Watkins going F1? What?
Monza in the first corner.
We'll see.
Oh no.
Monza.
It's one that I really like to use for at the end of these kind of things. I think the other guys
Is it
might
test
already know
course?
what it's going to
Yeah,
be.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah.
Ah.
Some people know how to do grid starts.
This is the first time I've ever done one.
And so
Some of
a
these guys got
good.
their launch control on.
Nah. We're running a race right now. Did you lose connection? Oh my god. I don't even know what to do in this situation.
Whoa!
Oh, use your close radar.
I am. I'm in VR. I have to turn my head and look at the freaking.
You close footage your eyeballs.
What am I supposed to do? I can't kill two birds with one stone.
Ryder went on an adventure right there.
Yeah, I did.
Oh my god.
Oh
fuck.
god.
Oh my god. Hi, Wonka.
Oh, I had to lift just ever so slightly there.
Or else he'd fucking kill me.
Yeah, or he killed you.
Ate sausage. Oh my god. Who's that beside me? Josie. Yeah.
Always this turn. What is the deal?
Oh, come on. Shit.
Oh, am I gonna get a penalty for doing that?
Yes.
Maybe not. For passing under the yellow?
Yes.
That's a
Okay.
3-second
Oh
penalty.
no!
We'll see if it pops up. If it doesn't, then I got lucky. Okay, I must have got lucky because it didn't pop up.
Holy crap. That was dramatic last friggin' corner.
Also, I don't know voices. Whoever said, the first time doing a grid start, like a little tip is to bind your handbrake and don't use like the actual brake. Use the linear move instead of, whatever your brake setup is.
Gotcha.
And the timing's gonna be up to you,
Right.
Yeah, like for me, I use the O button on my steering wheel, and I just hold down the throttle, and then just let go of the button, and it's like instantaneous.
I think it's Dino who said, like, try to use the handbrake. It's the linear, it's the instantaneous.
Yeah,
term
it's an
is-
on-off button.
All right, test D one more time.
Oh, right. So heroics and tofu.
All right, Dadster
And
there
then-
almost had the win.
Yeah, it was close. Sneak and Quapo.
Yeah.
Dadster and Little Watt next.
Okay.
Conscience and Stretch.
All right.
Me and Vergold. You and Ryder.
Yeah, even on sports offs, these cars are a bit twitchy, so your movements have to be a little bit more. That may be the issue. You guys' first
as
corner
soon
is your
as
hard
you-
turn. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, right then it's just too hard on the brakes, and then it rotates the car too easily.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's as soon as you go above the limit of braking and turning, it skids quite easily, and you lose the back end. So I'd say try to avoid braking and turning too much. Like coast as much as possible to make it more stable.
Oh my god, I'm so. Oh my god. Oh my god. What the fuck's going on? That was horrible timing from me. God damn it. Oh my. Oh!
They're keeping you alive, man. They kept you on the track, brother.
I just got bitch slapped in the face. The fuck.
Hot.
I was looking at my radar, and as soon as I looked up,
Jesus
there's a
Christ.
fucking
Oh my
barrier.
goodness. Oh my god. Wait, you guys need to see this from my perspective. I'm gonna clip this. Like, I went from like 10th to 2nd.
Yeah.
What? It's kind of ironic that we're driving Miatas.
Honestly,
Kind
a
of.
race series with this thing would be a lot of fun.
Dude, seeing
we
this in
already did.
person, I've seen these guys in person, and they're hauling ass, and it's awesome to see.
Oh, in the IMSA spec?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it once as a scene in St. Petersburg, Florida. It was a street race with the Indy. And honestly, this race was more entertaining than the Indy cars. Like, genuinely, like, I want to do this kind of.
Whoops.
You drive a lot better with a setup in them.
It's fun to drive shit
So
boxes.
Yeah, I could see it being a fun one to race.
Oh, sorry, that was a bit aggressive.
Also, a tire skill of you, Toasty.
Yeah, I was opposite lock there.
Well, it seems like you're driving better, Toasty. At least you're not complaining.
Oh my gosh, you're right. My car has felt normal this whole time. All I needed to do was reinstall the game.
It's a much cheaper solution.
Oh, nice.
So close.
I had a little wiggle coming out of that last corner. And I was like, oh, there goes all my speed. Who forgot to pit?
So you didn't even realize that it was driving better?
No, there was no change where I was like, yeah, I'm just driving. And then I was like, wait.
Alright, good. Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
It's a very cheap solution.
All right, last race of the evening. I'm gonna change the track. It's gonna be 3 laps.
Let me guess.
As soon as I change it,
I'm not even gonna
as soon as I,
say.
as soon as I change it, you guys are not allowed to go on the track. The track is gonna be closed, so no one's gonna be able to practice on the track. So stay in the lobby.
No,
Just
it's
hit the
not.
green
We're
X.
doomed. We're doomed.
It's not
We're
dirt or ice,
doomed.
correct?
No.
Glad we
No
don't have
panorama.
Monaco anymore.
Don't
No,
be
it's
panorama.
not. It's not. Don't worry.
I love Bathurst.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Bathurst
be.
is Satan.
It's somewhere you probably haven't driven in a while.
Yeah. Or at all.
Yeah,
Hey, I
fucking
called
do
it.
it. I fucking do it.
All right,
I don't
everyone
even know
green,
what this
everyone
is.
green up. Everyone green up.
Oh, LRC?
We're going downhill too. All right, this is.
Track
No.
is closed.
No.
Track is closed.
No.
Do not go on
Oh.
track.
This
Oh,
is
okay,
nuts.
okay.
Toasty,
I
I
don't
need
think I've ever
a
seen this
reading
track.
of the I need a reading of the grid order, please.
I don't know. Oh, there we go. Yep. So,
I don't think it
Chaos.
matters.
and anti-heroics.
Wait,
Just
sorry. Quiet on the comms, please. All right. Go
Adster,
ahead.
anti-heroics.
Dadster, anti-heroics. Okay.
Yep. Tofu and sneak.
Okay.
Wapo and conscience.
All right.
Stretch, Burgold, me,
Okay.
Ryder, you, Little Watt.
Okay. I'm putting Little Watt behind Stretch. Okay. All right. Same thing applies. Just like take it easy. I mean, actually, it doesn't matter. This is anything goes. Just have a good race. This is
Don't
this is
be-
for fun.
No.
Don't be an ass.
All the
Put
penalties.
me in the back.
Murder people.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, just don't purposely murder people. Unless if you're Vergold and
Dutra.
Dutra.
Murder people with plausible deniability.
Thank you.
FYI,
pass.
it's. If you haven't raised this track, this is our fun track because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I've never been on this one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come over here, baby boy. I'm coming to get you!
You be here, just fine.
Come over here.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
Oh God.
I wrecked a whole bunch of people.
It's okay.
That's not the man I'm looking for.
Not many people are gonna survive this next turn.
Okay.
Whoa!
That's
Wow.
right. Just keep fucking rear-ending me. That's great.
Oh fuck.
This is like Road Atlanta. I survived.
I should know this. I did the world license test for this.
I did not expect the rear to come around that hard when I was going that slow. I was taking it so easy.
Yeah, it's like for that one, it's like no matter how like easy you're taking it, you gotta do it easier than you think.
Yeah.
At least we had the high banks of Talladega there. Ooh, we missed the break.
Already.
Look out! Oh, Jesus.
Fuck.
How the fuck did he just slap me gun first?
The yellow flag banner is up like every 15 seconds.
You probably should have made this 10
Oh
laps.
my god. Ah!
All right, man. Take care. Thanks for joining.
Oh God. Oh God.
They turned
Oh,
in
God.
too much. And
Okay.
There is only so much you could take.
This is like the closest thing to Mario Kart you can get in this game.
Or a D lobby.
I don't break it down. Nope. Oh, dope shit.
Did you get the wall? Oh.
Oh boy. Second place. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. That upset the car.
Oh, still can't figure out how to get through there.
Oh God.
I didn't even know you could get a 3-second penalty.
Oh, you can get a lot higher.
Oh?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a subgroup in LRC called the Penalty Hunters, and that's all. Yeah.
I'll join that group.
Ah.
I know, right?
Yeah, but the worst one, if it's a rain race, I've seen a 5-second personally.
no comment. No comment. Congrats on the win, bro.
Hey Wonka, thanks a lot for doing this, man, and all the guys helping out. Looking forward to next week, man.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thanks for joining.
Likewise, thanks
Good
for
to
your
see you
time.
again, Quapo. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
thanks,
good to
guys.
see you, man. Thanks a lot. I'll see you guys next week.
All right.
The test course, okay. Oh my god.
Yeah. Also, there's two variants.
Like,
Right?
what are
You
they
go up the-
testing?
So, this is one of those where you take that tomahawk and
Big
you
race
see how
guns.
far you can fly?
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Will the tomahawk like fly off if you go uphill?
I
I guess
died.
there's so much downforce. It's
So,
like,
Well,
I-
let me try that. Let me try that. Hold on. I won.
I seen it fly at Bathurst.
Oh wow.
Okay, needs sports. Needs sports. Okay.
It goes from skyline just into the sky.
All right.
Have a good one,
Line
everyone.
to Skyview.
All right. See you, Sneak.
Time to test it.
All right. Well, let us all get up there to the front to watch you fly off of it.
Who the fuck is that? Who the oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
No traction control. No traction control.
All right.
Yeah, you're not even gonna be able to get enough speed to.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Oh my. Oh my god! Oh my god! You can make the flip turn! Oh, it's spinning.
The spinner.
Like, I'm in VR right now. This is insane.
Dude, this thing's no traction control makes this thing.
Or if you just, yeah, there we go.
Oh god!
Yep. Fucking hell! Oh my god!
I can't even get off the hill.
What the fuck?
All right, guys.
If we go backwards.
I'm gonna shut the lobby down. I gotta bounce.
Alright, thanks, Wonka.
Thanks again, guys, for joining. Thanks, LRC veterans for joining as well. So,
Oh yeah.
I'll see you guys.
Thank you. Thanks for all
See
the
you guys on
help.
Discord. Yep. See ya.
Oh, that was fun.
See you guys.
That was nuts.
Later.